The southern seat's poison has relapsed again. Without a Yan host soon, his power will be lost.
Am I going to die? I can't accept this. Mercy, sis. The ox dies before the field's worn. Wait, I can still go.
This is the legendary 9-Yang saint. Purest Yan essence, don't kill him. Meridian severed, I be dead, but you detoxed my Huayuan powder as I awakened your 9-Yang body. A clean trade.
Meridians restored. Traitor prince. I gave my life for you. Eat this. Yan breakthrough now.
Thanks, brother Zheng. In that case, just die.
Wang!
Why talk to trash, Yan'em? Finish him. I'll take you to Crimson Cloud Sect for elixirs. Wang Yan, why?
Chen Yuwen, I just wanted your resources. Fool. You thought you were worthy. D.
Credence. Long Xiaozhen. I'll haunt you forever.
The Tiankun Pearl holds cultivation manuals. Your 9-Yang sacred body is awake, meridians are stronger now. But with too much Yang energy, light all 9 segments fast, or the backlash will destroy you.
How to light them? You're all I need.
Shut up or die.
Don't. We're practically married. What if you're pregnant?
The destined one will know how to light the cosmic pearl. I must hibernate now, behave yourself.
Sister, your name? I don't know it yet.
My true name shall be revealed to you when you have proven yourself worthy of knowing it.
Hard play, alchemy, and formations, all supreme legacies. I'll make Wang Yan pay back 100-fold what she owes me.
Chen Yang's dead. Your Zheng clan's trash. Give me the contract, or I'll destroy you all.
Outrageous. That snake Wang Yan once groveled to our gens. Elder Zheng. Yan's death pains me too, but my girl won't live in widowhood. Take back the dowry, just return the soul pact.
You shameless piece of trash.
Yan!
I've watched you grow up, and our families are old friends. Why not pick another Zheng youth? The Spirit Stone pledge holds.
Leader Zheng, what talents? Just trash.
That's unfair, sis.
Who's your sister-in-law? Chen Yuan's dead. You dare challenge me, 8th level runt?
Alright, I'll fight you. Wang, our families are old friends. The kids are just sparring, let them be.
You!
He's Kamali tier with Yun Fei's Cloud Soar.
Ha! You think you can compete in the phosphorite tournament? Ridiculous. Zhen, give me that contract now. I won't touch this cursed thing.
Hold it. It's not you breaking off the engagement, I'm the one divorcing you.
Art thou health?
Chen Wai.
Your bro. You're still alive? How is that possible?
Wan Yan, I bet this is the last thing you expected. Your dear brother is still alive and kicking.
So what if you're alive, Shen Yuan? How dare a first-layer trash like you strut around before me?
But how come I remember it was your Wang family begging for this marriage in the first place?
Shut up, Zheng Yuan. You just kai my first tier while I'm second tier. Give me the contract and I'll spare you.
Mercy. This first battle was fought for my own honor, and this second one I fought it entirely for brother Yun Fei's sake.
I'll kill you this new year.
From this day on, we sever all ties and become strangers.
Insolent!
Young Master Long, he bullied me. You must stand up for me.
Second, relax, I'll handle him.
Long, cripple him.
Relax, beauty. I'm Long Xiaotian, Honghuan Sect's last disciple. 3 red rings, third tier unlocked. The Patriarch's own disciple, Honghuan Sect's heir. Hell, Haochen has maybe 3 who can take Long Tian. Zheng Yuan only unlocked 1 layer 2 whole realms behind. Kneel and beg, kid. Maybe I'll just break your legs if I'm feeling nice. Kneel and beg? You dare? You asked for this. Taste my blade. That's Huyan Sect's finest. Dragons using his artifact. Chen's done for, suicide. Herd form. At first layer. Fool. You choose death? Done. My 9 son's body makes level jumping child's play. No way. You're just city level. How can you beat my Crimson Express? Did I wreck a city level fighter? Brat, I'm gonna kill you. Move.
Since when did Zhang Yan get to be this powerful?
Here.
What a beast. Zhenjun rocks. Don't get cocky. My bad. See you at the mine.
Ha 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 ha.
But this battle for the Spirit Stone Mine is all up to you now.
Rest assured, Chief, I'll do my best. Good, good.
Just tell us what you need, the clan will give you full support.
Mom, Dad, I'm home.
Ha 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 ha.
Wang Yuan. Breaking in at noon. What do you want?
Perfect. You're mine now.
You scum. Get out.
Vulgar? I've got worse. Quit fighting, sweetheart. Your brother's roadkill now. Stick with me, you'll want for nothing. Ugh.
I'll die before yielding to you.
Feisty. I like it.
Brother, help me.
Your brother's dead.
Scream your lungs out. Nobody's coming to save you today. Hands off. Chen Yan, you're dead.
Bro, stop him now.
Stop him and you'll be rewarded. Ah. Ah. Back off. My Dan's warden won. Hurt me and your dad. Even if the warden himself shows up today, I'll still beat you senseless.
Ah.
Chen Yuan. My dad will get you.
Ooh, ow.
You scum. How dare you touch my sister? I'll teach you. Sorry. I won't. Spare me, Zhang Yin. Get out. Next time I'll break your legs. Chen Yan, just you wait, I swear I'll make you pay for this.
Bro, I thought you died. So scared.
Don't worry, I'm back. No one will hurt you now. Xuanmei, where are they?
Since you left, brother, mom and dad took to bed. The chief called healers, but they said they won't make the month. What?
Hold on, parent.
Brother, the clan chief sent physicians, and they said father and mother might not last another month. Brother, this is the lost Tai needle art. How'd you learn it?
No time. Yan Ahum, is it really you?
Oh my dear child, is it really you coming back to us?
Father, mother, forgive my unfilial heart.
Bro, why aren't they better?
Father, mother? Their old wounds are too deep. The golden needles merely sustain. To cure them, we need the fangs of Nether Mountain's guardian serpent.
The devouring serpent? A level 4 beast. Don't go, brother.
Easy, I can handle it.
The vitality within the sky, swallowing Python's scale box can push your 9-sun sacred body to its limit. If you can refine it, your cultivation will
soar by the river.
But the Nether Mountains are extremely perilous at your current skill level. Going there would be suicide.
To heal my parents and win the phosphorite rice contest. I must go. Fear not, Yinam. I'll get the Python spirit box to boost you to tier 3.
Long, you're so sweet.
A first level trash like you dares come here?
Zhen Yuan, don't flatter yourself over that fluke win. I had a chill that day you got lucky. If I fought seriously, you'd be nothing.
Cold? Your brain's frozen. Chen Yuan, don't flatter yourself. Last time I went easy on you. At the phosphorite auction in 2 weeks, I'll crush you. Your last weapon scrap now. Got a new toy? Did Hung Kyun's sect baby you again?
You're dead.
Out of my way, mutt.
Chen Yuan, just you wait, once we're in those mountains, you're dead.
Plenty of killers in these hills. Zhang Yuan dies today. Move out, after him. The Nether Mountains are treacherous, stay sharp.
Pretty thing, stop running. Who's gonna save you in these deep woods?
Touch me. Know who I am?
No one cares here in Shadow Peak.
No one will know if we kill you. What a catch. Boys,
Get him. Who?
bullying a woman? Shame on you, kid.
Back off.
Get 'em.
Ah. Ah.
Thanks for saving me.
The pearl glows. Is he the one I seek? This pendant, city lord's man? No need, miss. Zheng Yanhao. What's a girl doing alone here?
I lost my family.
These hills are dangerous, miss. Too risky alone.
Kind sir, let me come with you. Guide me out and I'll reward you.
Fine.
Shit.
Women still want him?
Yanham wants Xiang Yuan dead? Got a plan.
Right, young master. My new skills will feed him to beasts.
A second-tier beasts. Full strike breaks 4 layers. With just one, you're dead meat.
Skyblaze ape. Always docile, why this rage? Zhang, its hide resists blades, only fire melts it. He survived the ape's strike. You scared it off. That beast defied Pai Mai tier 4.
With the 9 Sun Saints' power, nothing is impossible. Let's get out of here quickly. I got this.
I'll do it.
With the devouring serpent, Hao Cheng is mine.
Long. If I can't convince you, then go find Zhang Yan. Chen Yuan, let's see how you meet your end.
Oh no, it's gotten damp. The Qiankun pillar saved me. Your sister stuff is amazing.
Ah!
Chu Lin, wake up. You're dead.
Tough hide. The Devourer King's reputation is well earned. This won't work. His weak spot's at 7 inches, but he guards it. Make him expose it. Gotcha. Fire.
Got the beast!
This is the Wang's blood curse. Prince Wang, you tried to kill me and sics this beast on my people. The Wangs will pay in Haocheng. The serpent's milk teeth and paste can save my parents. The riverside's energy boosts my training. Who'd have thought this wounded beast would willingly hand me both treasures? Good choice, I'll assist your cultivation from now on. The venoms reached his heart. No time left, find shelter fast. The venom spread everywhere. No good, pardon me. Saved him.
He sucked it out. Yeah,
Awake. Feeling better?
much better, thank you.
Poison's cleared. Rest now. We leave tomorrow.
Master, you're cleansed, but stuck at Kaimai level 1. I can assist.
Little Bai, you can speak. How'd you help me?
I'm an ancient, divine beast born to absorb energy. Use your technique, I'll assist.
Done.
Master, just the beginning. At higher levels, I'll channel more energy.
Lingam, hurry.
So many premium spirit stones.
Plenty of resources now. Lingam, your training's stuck. Let's practice together at home.
Sure.
Chen Yuan, take your trash and scram. Ugh.
Kill them.
I'll keep them alive to witness the Wang family's complete destruction.
Bro.
I said I'd return alive, father, mother. Did the boy find the cure?
Daughter!
You've broken through to Kaimai 3. From now on, no one bullies the Zhang. Old Zhang, hand over the mine. Your gens can't win.
Leader Jun, a Yellow Cloud elder, came personally. That's honor enough.
How impressive.
Back, Zheng Yun. Elder and Han Junior redone.
Turn heaven? Your Wang clan's not worth the trouble. Wang Yan found something in Nether Mountains. Recognize this?
How did you get that blood talisman?
Conin arts invite wrath. The Wangs are mad. Wang Yan, you control the devouring python with this blood talisman in Nether Mountains to kill me.
Not me.
Lies. We'd never use dark arts. Then why our blood seal? Wang's blood seal. Wang Dahai, your clan use forbidden arts. Zhen Yuan, shut your lying mouth. Who begged on their knees last time? Need a reminder? I knew nothing. Wang Yan, you ambushed me in Nether Peaks at Lin Mine. I'll expel your Wang clan from Haocheng.
Chen Yun, don't get cocky. You'll regret it at the auction. Brother, Wang Yan's file. Using fake letters against you. Stay alert.
Relax. Well, if it isn't young Master Zhang. Come on in. Did you manage to win over that girl from the cave that night? How'd you know? 50 years in herbs, I sniff everything. Bamboo dust, cave moss, this old nose never fails. Of course. When I go for it, I never fail. Impressed. Ha ha ha. Premium snacks. Taking the meds, old man. Later, Sheng. Interesting.
Bro, you're back?
Here.
Thanks.
Yun's back. Come in. I made soup.
Mom, you better now.
Thanks to the python fangs you brought back. The medicine worked perfectly, and we're both fully recovered now.
Yon, you saved us. We're fine. The chief told you about the trial. Its deadly clans are betting big. I'll secure our spirit mine. Yon, where these come from? Found them in the hills. The chief sent these for you. Yonaham, the Yang clan's future rests with you. The chief gave me rare spirit stones to train. I won't let him down. Got it. I'll help Zheng family win in 3 days. Lu roofing reached 8 layers. We're done for. If he spots me, I'm dead. Damn. Lu, you alright?
Peeping scum. You'll pay for spying on me.
Sister, Liu, I'm Zhenyan. We meant no harm.
The one who got dumped by the Wang family was actually dismissed by me. Though he may escape death, he won't avoid punishment. Since you've peeked at my naked body, you'll pay with your eyes.
Sister Liu, can't you shake that chill inside?
How?
I'm a doctor. The frost poison has reached your core. When it strikes, your body freezes in agony. I can heal you.
Is that true?
Kill me if I fail. You're stronger, and I can't hide.
Deal. Cure her, and she'll avenge you. Little pervert.
I didn't see anything.
Kid, come see me tomorrow, or I'll come get you.
8th floor.
This witch is deadly, but damn, that body's...
Eyes up.
No, just tying my shoes and thinking how to cure you.
Fine. I'll trust you. How to treat it.
Diagnosis needs 4 steps. Look, listen, ask, feel. Sister, give me your hand. Your chill is like frozen ice gripping your organs.
Next.
That technique is lethal. Whoever taught it wanted you dead, not stronger. You're forcing it down with qi, but the frost venom keeps spreading. When it hits, you'll freeze over in agony. Curable? Yes, with a young elixir and meridian massage.
You little rascal, trying to get fresh with me.
What a wicked enchantress. Get comfortable, sister. I'll work off your debt with my massage skills. Consider this your warning.
Why don't you stay with your sister tonight, kid?
Sis, gotta go. This massage protects you from the cold poison. Back in 3 days for needles. Damn, she's strong. Lord Mei couldn't have held on without Yunmen. Since when does the Shen clan qualify? That trash Zheng Yuan can't do shit. With Li Jialan and Zhao Pengfeng both at 4th tier, his pathetic 1st tier is suicide.
Bro, that's too much.
Take it easy. I'll shut them up soon. Zheng Yuan, how dare you hit me? You'll die in this match. That's Zheng Yuan. The Lord's here. He must have crossed him. This'll be fun. Clearly here for revenge. Zheng's done for. Exactly. You saved my girl in the Nether Mountains. These spirit tools are my thanks. What? Zheng Yun saved the Lord's daughter. Those are premium artifacts, so generous. Young Zheng is exceptional. My thanks, Lord. Just a small favor.
Thanks, Sheng.
My pleasure.
Chen Yin, how dare you? Zhang Yufeng, Come meet your death. What makes your Zhang family think they're worthy? Huh. Lady Zhao, you lowly ore-digging wench.
You're dead. Ah. Bitch.
He's selling level 3.
Zhenjuan, your opponent is me. Surrender now and spare yourself the pain. So the 3-blade throat sealer, Li Chengfeng, is here to kill.
Impossible.
What sword style? Cheng deflected Li's blade. Charity. I yield to your superior swordsmanship, brother Zheng. Li bows to your skill. Young Master Zhen's swordplay has Imperial Majesty 9 Yang physique. It is the 9 Yang 5 blades technique, brother Zheng. Tao Befeng has actually mastered the 5 blades. That's a spell only achievable at the 5th cultivation tier. Azure Edge Shield, activated once. My respects. Tao Pingfei, you're defeated as well. Li and Xiang's prodigies both lost to Zhang Yuan. Who can stop him now? Chen Yuan. A legend in the making. He's all grown up now. The spirit spring goes to what? I haven't fought. Martial rings for sale. That's Wolf Fang's Ren Huhong. Why's he here? Haha. Old June never saw this coming, our real move. But you can't win. Give up. Fine, forget the mine. Just kneel and kowtow 3 times. Then I'll spare you. Fool. A toad craving swan flesh. Shu Lin's not for you. Today the city sees your disgrace. Keep dreaming. Cheng Yuan won't take advantage. Rest and recover. Yuan, I forbid this duel. 1. Son, just surrender. Xiaoyao's 5th tier.
Brother, don't let anything happen to you. Young Master Jing can't have you.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing. Chen Feihong wants me to kneel? In his dreams, you scorn kindness. Taste my blazing blade, Wolf Fang's deadliest strike. That's it. Try this. Dragon Cyclone, Xiao Wow, kill move. Below half power. Death.
Father, help Sheng. Too quick he can hold.
Lingam. Arena rules forbid interference. Even I can break them. With it. It's starting. Zhang Yuan.
Brother, just surrender. I don't care about the mines anymore. I just want you alive. Chen.
You're asking for death, you damned fool. Impossible. You countered my blazing edge? The kid's a prodigy using my own force. Only innate masters can do this.
If this kid can hold on, let his good sister step in.
My turn. Break. What's that? Not calligraphy, ancient physique power.
Ah.
Brat. You've really pissed me off. Forcing me to use this explosive chi pill, you can die proud. He took rage pills, boosting his power a whole realm. Now he's Kai my 6th layer, we're doomed. Damn it, I've been poisoned.
Zhang Yong.
Wang Yuntang, it's you. The boy just can't keep going any longer. No? The kid's poisoned. Why can't I figure out what he's up to? Just surrender and kneel.
Kneel 3 times, and I'll spare you. The poison hits faster the stronger you are. Chen Yun, you're done for. This is what you get for hitting me.
Ha!
Zhen Yan, your time's up. Brother.
By blazing heaven. Shao's deadliest strike, none survive this. Perish now.
R.
You honestly believe this is all it takes to defeat me? Impossible. Poisoned yet standing? This poison won't kill me. The Chankun pillar's holding it back. Can't cure me, but it'll get me through this fight. No way. How could the Shiyuan 3 fail? No way. How could this happen? This kick is for me. Wang Yonteng will settle the score later for poisoning my tea. Chen's get the mining rights. Chen Yuan. We must make peace. Never oppose Jiang Yuan.
You terrified me. Thought you'd die.
All good, bro. We won.
Sheng.
I told you I'd win. Empress said cultivating with 9 chosen ones could light all Shankan pillars. I must go to Heartstir Lake tonight. Excellent. Yuan's our hero. Chief, my duty. He's no ordinary boy.
This kid's intriguing. Zheng, my cultivation's stuck, but tonight's session will help us both.
Let's go.
I did it. Thanks, Sheng.
The Qian Kun pearl glowed. K-My level 4.
Bro, where'd you go last night?
Had some errands. The first tier's lit, but Sister Liu's still poisoned. Deliver this antidote fast.
Bro.
Where are you taking the medicine? Sister Liu's cold poison came from a master's attack. Common pills can't cure it. This pure young pill, made from a Qiankun pearl recipe, should fully cleanse her system. But the Qiankun pearl lit up when I broke through. If Chu Ling was first, could Sister Liu be next? Halt. No visitors, announced Zheng Yan's medicine delivery. Sister Luge expecting. Come. Sister Liu, the cure's ready. Guarantee to work.
Give it. You made it. Sure.
I'm a genius at alchemy.
Top grade elixir. Delivery done. Off you go.
Sister Liu, no tea after my long trip?
How rude. Kid, watch out. The 8th Prince men are in Haoqing.
8th Prince. I didn't wrong him.
You've pissed off plenty. Liu Roofing, you're really living it up. Since when did you start keeping a pretty boy around? Shang Yuhan, how did you find this place? There's never been anyone I set my mind to find that escaped my grasp.
Cheng Yuhan, from the 8th Prince house? Such force, big trouble coming?
Stay out of this. Hand over the code you stole, wench, or you die today. That was never yours to take. Keep dreaming.
A Hoshin master trained me now I can't stand.
Shang Yuhan, you actually poisoned me. I never leave loose ends in my work.
Oh,
Whoa sis, saw nothing, heard nothing. Not my problem.
Oh my, what a handsome lad. You shameless harlot, how dare the 8th prince wish to take you as his concubine. I was just looking for a man to plant in the memory stone to disgrace you, and this fool walked right in. How perfectly convenient. Zhou Yuhan, you dare? What can't I do?
Ugh, my luck. Delivering meds, and this happens.
Turn.
Sis, I can't move.
Perfect match for you. Shang Yuhan, you bitch.
She's serious about this, we in real trouble now.
Liu Rufeng, so proud. Today I'll ruin you. When the 8th prince sees that stone, think he'll still look your way. Li Zaowu, you snake. I'll haunt you forever. This records every detail, every look, perfectly. You know the 8th prince, he detests imperfections.
Sis, this footage won't fool the 8th prince. He'll know it's you.
Shut up. One more word and I'll cripple your cultivation first. Just wait till the 8th prince sees what you've done to Liu Rufeng, you'll be finished for good.
she's vicious.
They're trying to trap us here. Sister Liu, it's Zheng Yuan.
Then you need to leave immediately.
I want to leave too, but the door's sealed shut. Snap out of it.
He can hold on.
We must break free.
Almost there.
Almost there.
Stop!
How did you get here? One more second and you'd be a dead man. You were tailing me. I was protecting you. Shang Yuhan's using you to frame Liu Rufeng, then pin it all on you. You'll be blamed for seducing the prince's wife, and the 8th prince will execute you first. What a vile woman. Let's get out of here. Sister Liu, he'll live. Go now or never. Zheng Yun won't forget this. Old man, who the hell are you? Young Master Zheng, you know of the Shadow Dragons? The Shadow Dragons were personally established by His Majesty the Chan Emperor. We answer to the Emperor alone. You show promise. Join us. Why? The 8th prince won't dare harm your kin. 10 mid-grade stones monthly, plus merit-based rewards. Not free. Smart. Headquarter assigns tasks, rewards, or penalties. The Shadow Dragons may shield my family. Count me in. Dark Dragon Guard, Agent 298. You're the only one who'd bite a dragon badge to test it. How big is the Dark Dragon Guard? 300 agents. Code names rank power and success. Not the worst. The last two got executed for failing their missions. Old man, are you trying to get me killed? No backing out now. That red flash? Your dragon tokens live. No backing out now, kid. Headquarter sets doable tasks. So old man, what's your Anlong post? Just a deputy inspector. Old Wang, why so late? With this thing, the 8th prince won't dare mess with me openly. As for behind the scenes, bring it on. Let's work, pal.
What you doing, brat?
Jade sis, aren't you dormant?
Ever since our ultimate union, I've been bound to sense everything you do.
Sister, my heart is only yours.
Stop the flattery. My dormancy depends on your cultivation speed. Train faster, I wake sooner, no slacking.
Perfect. Hold on, sis, I'll brew pills to power up.
Master, I sense a familiar presence. Little Bai, is that you? Empress, it's really you. Who would have thought this brat would actually end up with you?
You know her? Master, the Empress saved me.
Shall Bai, go with him. I'll be at ease.
Your Majesty, the East Sea Depths hold an ancient palace with a sacred cave. Its spiritual energy is 100 times denser. Cultivating there would skyrocket your progress.
The Sea Palace holds wonders.
Don't waste Shaun Bai's goodwill, kid.
Got it.
Pills first, then the palace. No good. This one.
Done.
Sell now. Level 4's too weak. The Dark Dragon Guards, just temporary shelter. The Sea Palace is opening, I must go. Zhenjin, Master Wei, will break your legs.
So this is the postnatal realm incredible. Cheng Yan's done for. I'll cripple him and string him up naked.
Why does this token look so familiar? Whoops, sorry. Hand slipped. Wei Chengfeng knows the Dark Dragon? Sorry for that, Lord Wei. You're too kind to mind. Master's gone mad. Kneel and beg Lord Xiang's pardon. What? Kowtow to Zhen Yuan? Repent now, or I'll strip your powers and exile you. Lord Jiang, spare a worthless wretch like me. Just let me go. My lord, Hong Hyun sect stands ready to serve your needs. All right, Xiang Tian, you were misled. Just own your mistake. But keep my identity quiet. Rest assured, offend that lord again, and I'll expel you myself.
Young Master Zheng, spare me for our past love. I never meant to hurt your concubine, my heart was always yours. Let me serve you as your maid.
I must have been out of my mind back then, risking everything for such a venomous woman. And now she actually tries to seduce me. The Empress outshines her, yet Liu recalls his charm. Get out. I never want to see you again.
If only I hadn't.
Sea Lord's realm has 100x the spiritual energy. Training there accelerates cultivation exponentially. The 8th prince coming. No more delays.
Master, the Sea Palace calls. Something awaits me there.
What is it?
Not sure, but vital.
Here I come, Lord Hai.
Treasures await inside.
Chen Yan, the Sea Palace too good for you. Scram now, or I'll kick you out myself. You? Oh right, my punching bag. Got lucky last fight. Today I collect. Wolf Fong boys, charge. Who dares hurt me? Master.
Hey.
My turn. You just wait and see. Bloodstains, this place is dangerous. You're here too? Old Wang, you here? For herbs. This palace treasures aren't free, beware. Whatever's inside, I'm going in. Yu Han. Why here?
Consort.
The 8th prince demands her alive.
Bring back her body.
Was your mother sent by the 8th prince?
Traitor to the 8th prince. You'll die for this. Shaming yourselves bullying a woman?
You.
Who else? Too moved to speak?
Shut it. Why did you save me?
Just helping out. The prince wants me dead, one more won't matter.
The 8th prince wants me dead. He's got my family. I fled to save them.
Why kill you?
I crossed the line. Jealousy blinds.
Jealous? Him? Of Liu?
Thanks for saving me, but stay back. The prince men are coming.
I fear neither the prince nor his men.
Look who's here, the 8th prince bride. Dating some boy? Liu Rufeng, shut your mouth. Clean. You filmed me with that stone. My bad, I admit. The prince will kill me first over Liu Yunxi. Happy now? Serves you right.
These two have quite the history.
Zhen Yuan. Why him of all people?
Sister Liu, I had to save him.
You weren't here when he chased me. Liu Rufeng, no arguments. The 8th prince wants me dead. Your feelings don't concern me. You're being hunted. That makes my day. Say whatever you want.
Stop it. Deadly Sea, we know. Live first.
I'm not going with you. Don't protect me.
Watch!
A beast tried to ambush you. The Liu Yingxi case is closed. We even now. Separate matters. I'm not forgiving you. Who asked? I just hate this.
Who?
We're being watched.
Dodge this. I sense too. Whoever comes dies.
Be careful, the dangers in this sea palace far exceed my expectations. Seems plenty of folks here are after my life.
Wrong. It's 10 times colder in here. The passage was sabotaged.
Not human, a beast.
Frostbound snow leopard, ancient triple realm beast. Deadly.
This thing's colder than by.
Can't move. My magic's freezing. Same, this chill neutralizes our young energy.
Cure yan your frost means nothing. Yield.
9 young sacred body. So that's why the 8th prince fears him.
Submit. Yield or hurt.
I yield to him completely.
He's claimed. This kid.
Now I've got the second dagger.
Trouble. A sand race here we re-expected.
Come out, coward. Chen Yuan, a snow leopard, makes you tough? My wind sand trap awaits. You're finished. That feeble palm strike proved it. Lucky you forgot? Now witness Wolf Fang Manor's real power.
Back off.
I'm coming for you. Perish.
Die, all of you!
This array has 7 cores. Destroy them all. Impossible. How'd you know?
You!
How? Do you really think everyone is as stupid as you are?
You! Just you wait!
Spared you last time. Still fleeing? You.
Don't kill me! I'm Langya Manor's heir. My father will hunt you down!
Langya Manor. Send your men, I'll slaughter them all. But today's your lucky day. Run along.
Go!
Spare him, and he'll be back.
Let him come. Good practice.
This brat's proving harder to handle than I expected. What's that? Blood horde. Qin can kill them all. Shen Feihang lured them here.
This won't work. Find an exit.
I can't hold on any longer. Don't die here. I don't want to owe you one. Then you owe me.
Sister Liu and Shuang Yuhan are hurt. End these beasts. Solar flare.
It's finally over. That bastard Shen Feihang, I'm going to kill him for sure.
Flee.
No, wait! You can't possibly kill me!
Dad. I've spared you multiple times, but you never learn. This time, I won't give you another chance. How stupid of you.
This is the lunar spirit fist, such potent yin energy. Cultivating here would make one's power skyrocket.
Don't fight,
You'll die today.
the prince said.
Hand over your sacred bone.
He may spare you.
9 yang bone, you bear the legendary divine body. A rare ancient gift. No time now. Ha.
Ah!
Zhou Yuhan's possessed.
Ugh!
Ah. Zhen Jun's failing.
Don't talk. Focus your energy. It's the one.
The second one!
Sir,
Stop the spring. It's vile.
Come and take my 9 yang sacred bone if you dare.
he's draining the spirit spring. The 9 yang body absorbs it directly.
Breakthrough achieved. Meridians unlocked.
Ancient tortoise,
Who dares disturb my slumber?
a 6 realms beast? Even stronger than innate realm.
9 yang body. So that's how you drained my sacred spring.
Your spring.
I slumbered here for ages. This spring was my bed. You drained it. Repay me.
Then your bed's tiny. I'll get a bigger one.
Shenzhen, hush.
Would you accept my trial?
What trial?
Show me your 9 yang Dao body. Prove you deserve this legacy. The 9 yang sacred body. A legend reborn. Master, the Sea Palace elixir, my life's essence, refined over ages.
My lord.
Our clan has long awaited the 9 yang sacred body. We pledge to serve you, Master.
He pledged. Even the primordial dragon turtle bows to him.
Old turtle. Stick with me and you'll live the high life.
Master, I don't eat that kind of stuff.
Zhang Yan, you thought hiding here would stop me?
Why's he here?
8th Princess, we'll settle your treason later. Hand over the 9 yang bone, boy, and I might spare your life.
How dare you worthless rats act so insolently here?
What an impressive ancient dragon turtle, truly living up to its reputation. But I came prepared.
Another Bane? You got this.
I knew this day would come. This Yin Qi spear was made to tame ancient beasts like you.
This yin qi, it burns.
Master, the yin energy binds me. I can't help.
Chen Yuan, a wheat mirror ant like you dares challenge me. Did out your 9 Sun Bu now, and I'll leave you intact. Spare me. How generous.
Boss. Go!
Bye.
One. Just you wait. I'll wipe out the Zheng clan. Your holy young bone.
I'll take it myself. Old Kui, alright?
I'm fine. Just need to recover. Master, the 8th prince was prepared. Be careful.
Sorry, Jenny.
What?
My bad. I filmed you with Liu Rufeng. That's how the prince found out.
He'd have known anyway. My physique can hide.
You don't blame me.
Save your strength to get out alive first. 8th Prince, I won't forget this debt.
Chen Yan, going back alone?
The 8th Prince wants me. You'll just slow me down.
Don't push yourself too hard, kid.
Relax, I'm unbreakable.
Dad!
Mother, Shuanu. Father, what happened? You're finally back.
Go to the Wangs right now and rescue your mother and father. Pa.
Master, calm down. The spirit spring's power is still raw. Your ki's wild, meditate to stabilize it. Master, you've leveled up. Don't engage now. The 8th prince wields yin energy and innate power. We'll settle this later. First, calm him down. 8th prince, I surrender. Chen Yuan, look at you now. Guards, take him away. Chen Yuan, you finally came. I thought you'd chicken out. Where's my family? Relax, they're safe. Just give me the 9 yang bone, and they won't be hurt. Show them. You're bargaining with me? Without seeing them safe with your own eyes, you'll get nothing. Fine. I'll let you see them.
Bro.
Yunam, please don't trouble yourself over us.
Acting now won't save them. You've seen them now. Don't worry. They'll be fine as long as you cooperate. Take Zheng Yuan for the Gu ritual. Wait for me. The Soul Lock Chamber. 8th Prince planned this. He's determined. Maiden.
Mortal, how dare you enter my lair? Get in my belly now, or suffer the pain.
Murderers. The 8th Prince wants me eaten alive for my bone? Brutal. But with sealed chi, I can't even draw my sword how to fight this beast.
Ancient dragon turtle and sky serpent, forgive this fool for offending your graces. Mercy, my lord. How dare a 5th grade corpse beast insult my master? Neo, my lord, this foolish beast offended you. Please accept my spirit casket as apology. Spare me, master. I'll serve you loyally.
Smart move. Rise. Serve me well, and you'll prosper. The Riverstone Bones vitality, fused with my Sea Palace spirit marrow remnants, could fuel another breakthrough. I'm still too weak to face the 8th Prince. Eighth Prince, you've truly been my lucky star. Locking me up actually helped me break through.
Grats, master!
How did you do that? Come on then, let's see what other tricks you've got up your sleeve. All right.
If even suffering can't bring you down, then die!
Miss Liu asks for Zheng Yuan. You'll wait till I'm done with roofing. Thing. You came?
8th Prince.
It's been such a long time, my lord. How I've missed you.
Easy now, 8th Prince. We'll go slow.
All right, I'll follow your lead. Now that you're here, I won't say another word.
Got it!
You're free. Hurry.
No.
The 8th prince, caught by Liu Rufeng, and Miss Chu's moved your family to the city hall.
A young lady named Chu? You mean Chu Lin has come as well? Chu!
It's her. Move. Now. Chen Yan, no escape. What? This is the demon sex dragon trap. You'll never escape alive. The array will drain you dry.
Prince! What a freak! Ah!
Ah. The chains won't break. Chen Jun. There's just too much of this stuff.
This isn't working. We'll be drained dry at this rate.
Move it, kid. Shang Yinghan's your match. Train now or die here. Zhen, who are you talking to?
The Qiankun Pearl reacted to Chu Ling, but not Shuang Yuhan. Why would the Empress call her the one? Forget it. Sister means no harm. Zhou Yuhan, focus your tea to your hands.
Why?
Quick! Skip it!
What's this? I leveled up.
Second stage breakthrough. He's actually the second one.
No way. How could you possibly withdraw at this moment? No way a father would betray his son.
I warned you.
Zhen, I beg you. I'll do anything.
Since you won't cherish it, be crippled. Ah! Leave Hao Cheng now. See you after sunrise. You die.
Why?
Chen Yuan, how did you get out? Second layer of Hoshan realm? How is that possible? Is that the only line you people know how to say? Lu Rufang, you dare trick me!
8th Prince, this is your fantasy. You allied with a demon sect, killed innocents, and stole sacred view, all punishable by death. Confess to the Emperor to save yourself.
Shang Yuhan, we're tied together. You betray me for Zhang Yuan.
8th Prince, confess and I'll face His Majesty. I'll take my blame, but you'll pay for yours. Fine.
Fine, fine. Since you've all betrayed me, since you've all chosen his side, then today this prince will perish together with you. None of you shall leave here alive. Ah! He's going to blow himself up.
Hold him.
Ah!
Hold it.
Ah! What? Who dares hold me? Release! Dark Dragon Guards? Why here? Deputy Wang Tiangang acts on His Majesty's order to escort the 8th Prince for trial. Father wants me arrested? Impossible! I'm his favorite. He wouldn't. Your crimes in Haoqing are known. Using the demonic sect to kill innocents, each charge means life in prison. The Emperor demands your return. Take him. Zhenjin, you won't escape me. Just wait. Not bad, kid. Few days and you're already at Ho Tian's second layer. Old man, you're this strong? I've got duties, farewell.
This old fox hid well.
Innate purity. No wonder he's alone. Let's go.
Kid, what happened today?
Secret.
All right, Zhenyan. Find me in the capital. Kid, I've got to go too. The sect needs me back urgently.
What sect?
No more talk. Just train. Crash it if life's at stake.
Take care, Liu. Fight me, boy! Let's see your Hushin power. No talk, fight! Ah! Ha ha ha! 40 years of training, and you beat me in one move. Zhenjin, you're now the strongest. I yield with full respect. Master Jun's unstoppable. Even the city lord couldn't take one hit. Zhenjin, you have made me proud. Ha ha, in you go, kid. Lingam and your folks are waiting.
You're back. I was so worried they said you went to the Wangs. I feared the worst.
All good, see?
Ha!
Ha, Lingam, you're the city lord's daughter. No shame before this crowd?
Dad! Brother, you're incredible. You chased off the 8th prince.
You are safe.
My son, no more risks. Mother can't bear it.
Relax, Ma. I'm unbreakable. You, Anne, let's talk. The Wang sees shops all 10 miles go to the Zhans now. Your thoughts? Well done, Lord Xia. You earned this. We'd have been doomed without you. Track the demon winds for the Moon Soul Stone. Refuse and face soul backlash. Marry a demon spirit, demon realm territory. Damn you, Wang! Trying to get me killed? Just wait till I'm back. Demon realm. The Lunar Soul Stone, this trip is absolutely necessary. I must settle my affairs before leaving.
Zhenjuan. Where's everyone who promised to visit? How did you get in through the window?
Who's this? Looks like me.
Give it back to me right now.
Tell me who this is first.
You know perfectly well what I'm talking about.
Hey! All right, enough teasing. Lingam has something for you.
This is an ancient alchemy text. I've read about it, thought lost for ages.
Got it at the Sea Palace. This manual speeds up cultivation. Use it after I'm gone to break through sooner.
This is too valuable, keep it for yourself.
Take it. You have helped me so much.
No need, you helped me too.
Lingam, I'm assigned to the Demon Vale by the Shadow Dragons.
J lands, that's J territory. Why go there? So dangerous.
Don't worry, I'll be safe. Please look after Haochen, my folks in Shanmei.
I'll guard your home. Just come back alive.
I will. Hear ye. East City's Merchant Street is now Jun property. 20% off for 3 days. Wow! 20% off. Hurry before it's gone. Chen's goods are top-notch. Let's go. This street's yours now. Don't mess it up when I'm gone.
Relax. I've got the shops covered. Go in peace. My brother handles home, and I'll run things tight. Anyone messes around, legs broken.
The Jungs are settled in Haocheng now. With the shops, parents won't worry about money. With Chu Ling looking after Sean, I don't have to worry about her getting bullied. Now I can leave with peace of mind. Parents, Xuan, goodbye.
Send us a letter when you get there.
Go, father's here.
Bro, you promised me rare herbs.
Got it. Take care.
Bro, come back soon.
This is the demon spirit. The miasma suffocating my powers are weakening. 30% power. This demonic energy cripples human cultivators. No wonder demon jade's forbidden. These fangs alone are deadly. Thankfully, my 9 son's body can mask my presence. If I stay hidden, the demon guards won't spot me, or I'd trigger every trap along the way. The lunar souls in the demon palace need to get inside. Try the black market. Stay alert. Human cultivators are sneaking in. Catch 1 to 1,000 spirit stones reward from the demon emperor. Heard these humans are tough. Why the panic? Doesn't matter, they'll die here. Our turf, our rules. Catch 'em, kill 'em, call backup if needed. Clear? Yes, yes. Boss is wise. Tight patrols. The demon emperor's on high alert. But these grunts only scare civilians. Down to 70% power. Deeper in, it'll drop to 50%. Then we fight demons for real. Still holding up. Multiple eyes on me, 3 at least. A demon hunting party? Then see who's prey. News on the lunar stone.
The Moon Soul Stone? That's from the Demon Palace. You're bold. Word is it's in their sealed vault. Only demon royalty can go there. But you won't survive, the assassins are closing in.
Humans after the lunar soul stone. Just you 3. A crippled human dares brag. Kill him for the bounty. 3 of you. Yao, you! The moonstone sealed. Be ready.
How do you have 9 sons, Aura?
Liu, you here?
Who are you? Why the 9 young Aura?
Zhenyin, don't you remember? By Haochen River, you almost gouged my eyes out.
Brat, why are you in the demon realm? Shouldn't you be in Haocheng as Jin's heir?
Don't.
Blame old Wang forced me here or lose my powers.
So you joined the Shadow Dragons? Interesting.
You? Why here?
Same here.
What?
The Void Reversion Art, an ancient lost skill. Mastery reverses yin-yang. Celestial Sage searched centuries, found it in demonic arts.
Let's move.
Kid, how'd you get so strong so fast? Spill it.
Just had some lucky encounters and picked up a few benefits at the Sea Palace.
Luck won't get you far in cultivation.
What's that 9-fold void art? Wise celestial sage sought it for a century.
An ancient technique from primordial times, said to be left by an ascended master. At its peak, it can reverse yin and yang. It lets you steal an opponent's magic mid-fight.
That's strong.
Powerful yet grueling, requires perfect yin-yang resonance to master. No sciences has ever succeeded.
Heavenly sect. Celestial sect.
Sacred maiden.
No wonder you moved freely before the 8th prince. No wonder boss Wang respected you. The Celestial Sanctum's holy maiden, that title carries weight. No one in the former dynasty would dare touch their members.
No status gets you free techniques. The sect won't feed you. Kid, I know the lunar soulstone matters to you, but hear this, I'm getting that groom's mantra. No one takes it from me.
Relax. I just want the soul stone. Your technique's useless to me.
Old ties aside, the Void Marquis stays mine.
Sister Liu, we go way back to Hao Qing. Why tally favors between us? Soul stone's mine, skills yours deal.
Still a fool, boy. Trusting folks like always asking to be stabbed in the back.
Sell me? Who could? The Rock Princess is wedding the Fox heir. Uniting our strongest clans.
Golden Rock joins Fox.
Who'd bully demons now? Poor Princess Fox heirs vile. Shush. Want death. Princess.
The Golden Rock clan rules as demon royalty. Their leader is the demon emperor. This Fox marriage is political. This union surely hides a deal.
Qian Kun's out.
Huh.
Here? The demon princess?
Kid, don't even think about her. She's the demon princess, the emperor's daughter.
Find the soul stone first, then the rest. The princess is brilliant and gorgeous. Why pick the Fox heir as her groom? Hush. The Demon King's order is absolute gossipers die. An imp was executed yesterday for blabbing.
Poor princess, just 18, must wed that Fox wastrel.
What is that Fox heir?
Everyone knows he's always carousing and abusing power.
Why force his daughter to wed? The demon emperor wouldn't sell her.
Not sure, but the demon palace security is 10 times tighter now. Stealing the soul stone will be tough.
We must get the soul stone.
Linglong's betrothed. Still protesting?
Father, no.
Princess. How could you? Our Fox heir is worthy.
He keeps concubines and carouses daily, everyone knows. And I should marry him.
How dare you? This is demon realm politics, no tantrums. You're the Rock Princess. Your marriage affects us all.
Who are you to decide my fate? I'm no object, you are sending me to my doom.
Guards! Confine the princess. No one releases her death penalty. Away with her.
Father, you can't do this to me. I'm your daughter, not your wife. Father, why force me? Why? How save me?
That's the princess. She's calling for help.
Huh.
Princess Linglong's trapped. My Qiankun pearl senses her.
Can you feel her stone?
Yeah.
Save her.
I need her help, and she refuses to wed. Helping's my way.
I knew it. Your principles will kill you.
Help or not.
Why else would I? Guards tripled. The Demon King's dead, set on marrying her off.
Wait for shift change. We'll slip in during the gap. That wall section's unguarded best spot.
Oh lore, you go. Hurry. Who are you? How'd you get past the guards?
My name is Zheng Yun. I'm a human cultivator who sensed your distress call. I'm here to help. Quiet. Stay out.
Guard, how? You know my lineage. Humans can't sense demons.
Fate connects us. So I sense you. I need your help. We must train together.
Another silver-tongued liar. How are you better than the Fox Prince?
The difference is, I won't force you. I'll help you flee, you help me. Once this is done, we'll be square.
What?
The Moon Soul Master boasts, guide me to the Forbidden Zone. Only Golden Rock Royals can break its seals.
Fine. When you fetch the bride, get me out. Deal.
Deal.
If you lie to me, I'll kill you myself.
Don't worry, I never lie to women, especially beautiful ones. Princess, weren't you grounded? Why here?
I changed my mind. The king sent me for something. Move.
Your Highness, who are these two?
Since when do you get to question my people? Should I go fetch my father right now and beg you to let us in?
My apologies, after you.
Stay close, don't touch a thing. These treasures are all cursed. One mistake kills us all. The soul master's inside. Only rock royals can open this wall. Howie. Seal lasts 30 eps. Got it. Moonstone.
Got it!
Alarm triggered. No way I disabled it.
Sanctum intruder.
Seal all exits. Alert the master move. Free me! Intruders. Seal all exits. None escape. Warn the Demon King. Take him alive! Move!
Keep up. Stay close.
More coming. How many troops has he got? His whole northwest force here.
We must break out. Give us the princess and the stone, and we'll spare you. This is Fox and Rock business, back off. Hand it over, and I'll spare your corpses.
Move.
He Chen Rung? You're no ordinary human. Cultivator, who the hell are you? My hand!
Dad's here. He sensed me. See, spirit's aura. Brat, us three. No match for him.
Go.
Go!
You crazy? Demon King sees spirit. A postnatal peak can stop him. How?
I've got this. Just go. We'll all die waiting.
Brat, if you die, I won't bury you.
Relax. I'm tough. Go.
See who dies.
Stay here tonight. Ran all night. Running will kill us all.
I'm sorry for dragging you into this. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't be hunted by my father.
I brought you here, my doing. I came to you.
No use talking now. Let's survive tomorrow first. If he comes, I'll go back. Just leave me. I can't escape.
I'll keep you safe.
Why help me? We're strangers. You could have escaped alone, I'm just dead weight.
No reason. Just can't watch this. Forced marriage anyone would run.
That's just him can't resist helping a damsel. You too close? Nah, just acquaintances.
Don't mind him. Sister Liu helped me.
No one's ever treated me this well. To them I'm just a princess or a pawn. Never asked my will.
Then I'll ask. Save your strength, we travel tomorrow.
Still terrible at words, kid.
Sleep, Sister Liu.
Come. Zhen, can you hear my voice right now?
What? Wasn't I at the inn?
I brought you here.
You.
I controlled your mind with golden ping magic. Sorry.
So
You said you needed my help. I'll aid your training now, just take me.
after all this fuss for something so simple? Alright, let's get started.
Is this the fabled 9 young body? So incredible.
I finally broken through to Haotian's peak.
Back so late. Where to?
I just went out for a little walk.
Sister Liu, wait, Brad, what happened? You reached Hoshan Peak? You were Hoshan 2 an hour ago. Now.
Don't get the wrong idea, we were just cultivating.
Alright, I got it. The Demon King is here. He's really here.
He's here. Time to test my peak power.
Ling Long, you fled your wedding with humans? Shaming the Golden Rock clan. Shame on you. Demon Lord,
Don't force Linglong.
Forced love sours. She's your child, not a pawn. My house!
No human can meddle here.
Who the hell do you think you are? A mere peak hooting ant dares to spout nonsense before this emperor. A mere Hoshin ant courting death.
Father, kill me before him.
Yun! How dare you? Golden Rot's princess, shielding a human.
I know what I'm doing. You're no father of mine.
Demon Emperor, you forced Linglian to wed not for the Fox clan's sake, but your own. What? You're poisoned. Dying of frostblight. You forced Linglong to wed foxes for their yang artifact. It's your lifeline, right?
How did you know? Who told you?
Your aura gives you away. You mimic sea-splitting power, but weaken at midnight clear frostband poison. Incurable. Only Yan energy can hold it back.
Father. Poisoned?
How did you find out about this?
Your aura seems strong, but fades at midnight, the telltale sign of yin frost poison. No cure exists, only yang suppression can control it. You made Linglong marry the Hu for their life, extending yang artifact, right?
Father, you're poisoned. Since when? Why hide it?
Correct. The yin frost venom has me. No cure, 3 days left. I'm Linglong.
I took the Fox clan's relic to survive. I wronged him, but can't let chaos erupt. My death would unleash Golden Rock's foes.
Linglong dies.
He's still too young to hold this mess together.
Father.
Ah! Sire!
I can save you. No demon healer could cure this frost poison, only Yan energy breaks its yin chill. My 9 Yan body neutralizes his poison. Just a Yan energy clash.
Trust a human cultivator? My lord, arrest him now.
Believe it or not, your emperor won't last long. Look, the poison's reached his heart. He's got minutes left. Your terms. First, annul Linglong's fox marriage. Second, set her free, no more forcing her. Third, let us leave the demon prison. Fine, I grant your request.
Three beasts. Who's this human? Devouring python, frost fan, ancient tortoise, all legendary. Damn! Who is this human? The master's frostbite is incurable. The poison's bone deep. Normal cures won't work. Only the 9 Yang array can purge it inch by inch. Hold! Are you sure this won't kill me?
Stay still to live. Move now, and the poison kills, no one can save you. Hoon.
Ouch! Ouch! I'm stuffed to death.
Will father survive? Demon Emperor Bai Hai Jing is tough. He'll pull through. Just endure.
Watch closely. If that human threatens our lord, rush in and mince him. Control those 3 beasts. Can't wait. Save the lord. I. Master, beware of the backlash. Get out of here. Damn it all! After 300 years stuck at this bottleneck, I've finally broken through just like that. Congratulations, my lord. You saved my life.
I owe you this.
3 vows I'll keep, Linglong.
Forgive me, child. Your marriage is your choice now.
No more pressure. Father, here's my divine mark. Crush it if threatened. I'll come myself. Take care of Linglong. She's spoiled and quick-tempered, bear with her. Rest assured, I'll never let Linglong suffer.
Linglong's betrothal to the Hu clan is hereby void. Mention it again and die. I'll deal with the Hu clan myself.
Have you figured it out yet?
So close. I sense the soul master's arts, yet can't grasp them. That final veil remains untouchable.
What?
Yang force. Mastering 9 returns void requires yin-yang harmony. Kid, help me out.
Sister Leo, no promises.
It's really true. Nine to void. Finally.
Congrats, Liu. I'm Liu Roofing. The fourth person I needed was me by chance.
Born.
Step right this way. I still can't figure out how this Qiankun Pearl gets activated.
You've jumped from Haochen Peak to Wixiantian.
Thanks, sis.
Lucky brat, you're so enviable.
Luck is skill.
Kid, I must go. The Celestion sect awaits.
Sister Liu leaving so soon.
Got the void return art? Celestial Sage calls. See you. Don't die on me, kid. He's into you.
What are you thinking at your age?
Oh, come on now. You'd better get going.
Keep up. The frigid Northland's icebound cities a month's journey away. Here.
Such power.
Zhenyan, you cleared the Demon Ridge trial with worthy aptitude.
Your Northern Jade Battlefield invitation. A cultivator's paradise rich in energy and opportunities. Warriors.
Gain skills, pills, legacies.
Near death.
Yet outshone all mortals.
This prisoner gets you into North Jade.
I've heard of the Northern Battlefield. It's in our clan archives. Every cultivator's dream endless treasures. Masters. Legacies. My father tried but wasn't invited. Only the elite get in. Coming?
The Northern Jade Battlefield, every cultivator's dream. Far better than on long guard duties.
I'll go with you.
Not afraid to die?
Why fear? You vowed to protect me.
Here I come. Zhang Yuan arrives at the frozen Northlands.